President Zelenskyy saying that the battle for Severodonetsk was a very fierce battle, and we've seen that fighting continuing for days and weeks now as Russian forces seem to be advancing throughout the city. The head of the Luhansk region, where Severodonetsk is situated, says that Russians do occupy around 90% of the city now, but that they are still in control. The Ukrainians are still in control of industrial areas on the outskirts. He says that fighting is taking place on the streets there. But the Ukrainians have been losing ground, and this is something we've been seeing increasingly in recent days. So these announcements perhaps preparing the Ukrainian public and the international community to announce in some time the loss of Severodonetsk. Now, President Zelenskyy said that in many ways the future of the Donbas was being played out there, so that does not bode well for that battle, although it has to be said the Ukrainian forces are still holding on to the town of Lysychansk, which is just across the river from Severodonetsk, but it's coming under very heavy shelling indeed. So extremely fierce fighting there taking place in the Donbas, and the Russians seem to be advancing, but that is taking place very slowly with this fierce artillery battle, which has been so characteristic of the fighting in the east of Ukraine. The Ukrainian authorities have been keeping up their appeals to the West to supply them rapidly with more heavy artillery, which can reach long-range targets. Now, some of that we've been hearing from military officials has been arriving on the front line. So there have been images of the Ukrainian armed forces showing off howitzer and other artillery systems to foreign media, saying that this is making a difference for them in that battle for the east, that with that they're able to carry out precision strikes which are taking out Russian artillery batteries. But they say they need more of this, and they need it fast, because every day that goes past, the Ukrainian forces and Ukrainian territory is being pounded by Russian artillery, who've been, as we've seen, destroying many of the towns that then they hope to go on and take with troops advancing further forward. So very much, yes, the mission from the Ukrainian government, the message, from the Ukrainian government is we need more supplies. Do not forget about the war in Ukraine, and there's hoping that there won't be a fatigue or a reluctance which is starting to set in the West.